Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Cognizant,
fully cognizant,
Swarat,
Swarat,
fully independent,
fully independent,
Tene,
Tene,
imparted,
imparted,
knowledge,
the Vedic knowledge,
Rida,
Rida,
consciousness
consciousness
of the heart,
of the heart,
Yaha,
Yaha,
one who,
Adi
Kabaye,
Kavaya,
Yaha,
Surya,
great sages, absolute,
absolute,
Dimahi. Translation. 2. I meditate upon Lord Sri Krishna because he is the absolute truth and the primeval cause of all causes of the creation, sustenance, and destruction of the manifested universes. He is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations, and he is independent because there is no other cause beyond him. It is he only who first imparted the Vedic knowledge into the heart of Brahmaji, the original living being. By him, even the great sages and demigods are placed into illusion, as one is bewildered by the illusory representations of water seen in fire or land seen on water. Only because of him do the material universes, temporarily manifested by the reactions of the three modes of nature, appear factual, although they are unreal. I therefore meditate upon him, Lord Sri Krishna, who is eternally existent in the transcendental abode, which is forever free from the illusory representations of the material world. I meditate upon him, for he is the absolute truth. Everyone could understand everything? So everyone can repeat after me. We definitely will take maybe not 6 months, but more than 1 day. Maybe 6 days. Not 6 months, 6 days, possibly. O my Lord,
O my Lord,
Sri Krishna,
Sri Krishna,
son of Vasudeva,
son of Vasudeva,
O all-pervading personality of head,
O all-pervading personality of Godhead,
I offer my respectful obeisances
I offer my obeisances
unto you.
unto you.
I meditate upon Lord Krishna.
I meditate upon Lord Krishna.
I meditate upon Lord Sri Krishna,
I meditate upon Lord Sri Krishna
because he is the absolute truth
because he is the absolute truth
and the primeval cause
and the primeval cause
of all causes of the creation,
of all causes of the creation,
sustenance, and destruction
and destruction
of the material existence.
of the material universes,
Of the manifested universes.
of the manifested universes.
He's Kartik's friend?
Yes.
That's why he's here. I think he's more pious than the other one. Anyway, he is directly and indirectly
He is directly and indirectly
conscious of all manifestations.
conscious of all manifestations.
And he is independent
He is independent
because there is no other cause
because there is no other cause
beyond him.
beyond him.
It is he only
It is he only
who first imparted
who first imparted
the Vedic knowledge
the Vedic knowledge
unto the heart of Brahmaji,
unto the heart of Brahmaji,
the original living being.
the original living being.
By him,
By him,
even the great sages
even the great sages
and demigods
and the demigods
are placed into illusion,
are placed into illusion,
as one is bewildered
as one is bewildered
by the illusory representations,
by the representation,
by the illusory representations
by the illusory representations
of water seen in fire,
of water seen in fire
or land seen on water.
or land seen on water.
Or in the desert, water seen on land also. Yeah. Only because of him
Only because of him
do the material universes
do the material universes
temporarily manifested
temporarily manifested
by the reactions
by the reactions
of the three modes of nature
of the three modes of the nature
appear factual,
appear factual,
although they are unreal.
although they are unreal.
I therefore meditate upon him,
I therefore meditate upon him,
Lord Sri Krishna,
Lord Sri Krishna,
who is eternally existent
who is eternally existent
in the transcendental abode,
in the transcendental abode,
which is forever free
which is forever free
from all the illusory representations
from all the illusory representations
of the material world.
of the material world.
I meditate upon him,
I meditate upon him,
for he is the absolute truth.
for he is the absolute truth.
Report. Obeisances unto the personality of Godhead. Vasudeva directly indicate Lord Sri Krishna, who is the divine son of Vasudeva and Devaki. This fact will be more explicitly explained in the text of this work. Sri Vyasadeva asserts herein that Sri Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, and all others are his direct or indirect plenary portions, or portions of the portion. Okay. Srila Jiva Goswami has even more explicitly explained the subject matter in his Krishna Sandarbha. In Brahma, the original living being has explained the subject of Sri Krishna substantially in the treatise named Brahma Samhita. So this is very interesting actually, how from the very, very first verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam and from the very, very first of the 6 Sandarbhas of Srila Jiva Goswami, immediately it is established that Krishna is the absolute truth, that Krishna is the origin of all that exists. And by doing so, of course, also Prabhupada mentions about Lord Brahma and the Brahma Samhita. It is all in glorification. It is Lord Brahma offering his prayers to Lord Krishna after his very long meditation, his long performance of tapasya, and having the darshan of the Lord, the darshan of the spiritual world. He offers these wonderful prayers. It means that actually, although there are many Vedic literatures, there are some that are especially critical. Critical means they are like essential, like Bhagavad Gita. It is called seminal texts. Means they are original texts that speak and reveal about the absolute truth. You see. So that's why every day we are meant to hear from these kind of literatures, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, because they deal. This is basically if someone wants to describe or understand or give a name, nomenclature, to understand that Godhead, that the absolute truth. In Bhagavad Gita, in many places, the Lord asserts himself to be the original personality of Godhead. It means that actually, of course, for contest on the Bhagavad Gita, asking questions, different questions. One of the questions that we were asking, and most people got the wrong answer for that one, the question was, what is the highest recommended yoga in the Bhagavad Gita? And like 90% of the people, they would say, Karma Yoga. We have to do our karma. So, although Bhakti is explained and so clearly explained in the Bhagavad Gita, most people don't get it. Although Krishna is everywhere in all the Vedic literatures, most people don't get it. You know. So Prabhupada is just mentioning here, in the Bhagavad Gita, in many places, the Lord asserts himself to be the original personality of Godhead. And this is confirmed by Arjuna, and also by great sages like Narada, Vyas, and many others. In the Padma Purana, Prabhupada goes on. In the Padma Purana, it is also stated that out of the innumerable names of the Lord, the name of Krishna is the principal one. Yeah. One time Prabhupada was saying, actually God has no name. He has a name. But the favorite name is Krishna. Vasudeva indicates the plenary portion of the personality of Godhead. So Vasudeva is different from Krishna. When Krishna leaves Vrindavan, he doesn't leave Vrindavan. Vasudeva, Krishna leaves Vrindavan, isn't it? So these pastimes of Krishna, because it is mentioned, clearly explained in the Shastra, Krishna never steps out of Vrindavan. The original Krishna. He never steps out of Vrindavan, Goloka. Yeah. Goloka Dham. Whoever will come here should never step out of Goloka Dham. We'll have to read this verse. So Vasudeva indicates the plenary portion of the personality of Godhead, and all the different forms of the Lord being identical with Vasudeva are indicated in this text. The name Vasudeva, particularly upon by the Paramahamsas, who are the perfect among those in the renounced order of life. So renounced order of life is not a question of color. It is not it is not that one has to be saffron to become self-realized. You know. Yeah. So it is not a question of. So that was the first paragraph. We have time for. Deva compiled all Vedic literatures containing the 4 divisions of the Vedas the Vedanta Sutras or the Brahma Sutras, the Puranas, the Mahabharata, and so on. But nevertheless, he was not satisfied. His dissatisfaction was observed by his spiritual master, and thus Narada advised him to write on the transcendental activities of Lord Sri Krishna. These transcendental activities, to read the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam. Just like Prabhupada is explaining here, that one must systematically hear and read and study the Bhagavatam so that that section of the Bhagavatam, as mentioned here, which comes in the 10th canto, which is very, very confidential, can only be understood when one's heart is sufficient. So therefore, the book Bhagavatam, and then those who are actually living the teachings or the instructions of the Bhagavatam. So obviously we're not going to finish this, which is fine, and we can leave a few minutes, as there's 5 minutes there for any possible thoughts or so it was Super Soul within your heart telling you that that is for later on, after you chant a few Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Yeah. Yes. Any other thoughts?
Reading this Bhagavatam every day, actually, because of
Krishna consciousness is meant to, again, revive Brahminical culture. One of the main activity of Brahmanas, they read and hear and discuss topics about Krishna consciousness, transcendence. So what you say is very true. The more, that's why Prabhupada also wanted that we actually read every day. Actually, I heard recently how Prabhupada was telling that every evening, not finding any time whatsoever for spiritual activities. So it's very important for our devotees, and that's why, although we had stopped the Bhagavatam for a few days, now we're again, even though it's a little bit maybe not quite well. Anyway, it's in nature, so nature is okay. Nature is natural. Of course, our place, if we look at it right now, is becoming like a factory place, practically. But to hear on a daily basis, on a regular basis, yeah. So we've read only 2 paragraphs, and there are probably 15 or 20 paragraphs or more in this first text. We will close here for now. And I think, yes, 5 o'clock, I can still see everyone. Not like yesterday. Are they still there?